Defining the functions of the fiscal is have to
committee hearing ng ways and means.
change myself. So recommend standards for claiming for the application of incentives to allow for the calculation of costs and benefits of an application, to recommend a grant of incentives to highly desirable projects, to recommend time-bound or place-specific projects or activities to the SPIPP during periods of recovery from calamities and post-conflict situations at ng FIRB for any amount. Number 12, empowering the DOF to determine the terms and conditions for the grant of enhanced deduction. Did we put that? This is due scope and parameters of the term redundancy, a parameter for inclusion in the SMI. May I recognize my good friend, of course, the genius of Central Luzon, because her brother was my classmate in Ateneo. May I recognize, of course, Congressman. Wala kasi kayo, kaya sinimulan namin muna yung Ompong Ordanes, also a member. Allowing services in IT process outsourcing under an IPA to undertake work from home, although there is a DOF, there is a DOJ opinion on this floor, if we need to adjust this. Allowing the BOI to designate regional offices of the DTI as negotiated. I may recognize Congresswoman Franz Castro, who is in all newspapers every day. Ang media. As one-stop shop action centers, kasi kami may mga sa Albay, marami po kami doong investor, pero mga exporter, hindi sila nakikinabag dito sa Create kasi wala ko silang mapupuntahan. So ngayon, para meron silang malapitan, yung mga negosyo center ng DTI. Number 16, clarifying the incentives RBEs for transition, but which of course the BIR did not respect. Enjoyment of duty incentives for the remainder of the 10-year transitory period, provided that there will be no, the committee obtained additional input from numerous stakeholders in December, much of which from the Speaker. So ito dapat kasi approve na ito noong November 21, kaso every time the President goes abroad and the Speaker is with him, immediately there's a chat to me to include this and that. So we might as well, be responsive to the requirements of potential foreign investors. A list of local taxes that shall be exempted following the imposition of the RBET. Incorporates framework for multinational enterprises. This one is the most important one. Kasi ngayon, pakita mo nga yung natin. Can you show? Under the current law, our major investors, open. Next. They're already implementing the 15% global minimum tax. So, kung sa Pilipinas, binigyan natin sila ng ITH, wala silang binabayaran, pag gawin nila sa country nila, sisilin sila ng 15. So, walang kwenta yung income tax holiday natin. Wala, kakwenta-kwenta. So, alam na naman kami magagawa ng mga batas na walang kwenta. So ito, 10 years, sabi namin, up to 7 years, ITH, 10 years na ESIT. Pati yung ESIT, dahil 10% lang, ang baba, hindi rin i-recognize. Ang i-recognize lang nila yung ED. Pero yung ED natin ngayon is for domestic market enterprise. Nakita niyo ba yan? So, these are the enhanced deduction, kung saan pag gumamit ka ng kuryente, 200% deduction, imbis na magbabayad, imbis na i-deduct mo 12, i-deduct mo 24, so may katipidan na dyan. That one actually complies with the BEPS, which means base erosion and profit shifting. Itong nasa harap nyo, pwede ito sa domestic. Kasi wala naman silang. Kasi pag ikaw po ang naglagay ka ng negosyo, katulad sa creative industry, gumawa ka ng sarili mong BTS, at ang BTS is actually foreign owned, is virtually owned by American hedge funds. bawal naman yan sa konstitusyon natin because bawal sa atin mag-ari po ng media at saka advertising. Kaya hindi tayo, yung ating pong mga SB19, they are not funded by foreigners. Pero ang sinasabi ko dito, simple lang, and I seek at least in principle, the approval in principle that we make this thing in front of you suitable to the new requirements of the 15% global minimum tax. Kasi nga, hindi na uubra, nabibigay ka na, oy, pasok ka sa Pinas. May 7 year ka, hindi magbabayad ng wish na kahit ano. Pagbalik ka sa bahay nila, pababayarin sila ng asawa nila. So useless. So wala, papasok dito. Ang gulo pa ng BIR. Mas gusto pa nila magbayad dun sa kanilang host IRS. So yun po ang gusto namin gawin na i-redo na natin to habang maaga kasi otherwise walang papasok. But we can retain the current for domestic enterprises. Ibig sabihin, whether they're for export or whether they're for domestic consumption, for as long as for their SIPP. Pero yung foreign investors will not be attracted anymore by CREATE. Marami na kaming discussion, effect, imbis na bigyan sila ng 7-year income tax holiday, plus SIT of 10 year or ED of 10 years. So we will provide them with 20% ED for 20 years. Mukhang bala na yung DOF umayaw sa floor. But as far as the committee is concerned, we have studied this for far too long and I've discussion with too many persons and I guess ito po yung ano. Ang isa pa, yung iniingi po ng mga foreign investors sa Pilipinas na tagal na dito, ini-impose po ng BIR na 1% CWT. So, hiningi po yan yung US ASEAN Business Council kay Speaker, ang CWT lang naman is a borrowing expenditure, a borrowing revenue. You borrow it, and then at a certain point, so the creditable withholding tax, ang proposal namin, pag babayaran sila, we will impose like the IRS in the US. If you pay more, you're charged with the US Treasury note, which is about 4%, or 5% plus 4. So, any overpayment, isosoli sa iyo pero may interest. Gagamitin natin dito sa Pilipinas. Pag ang isang gusto nila ng CWT, pero meron naman talaga silang babayaran, we will impose an interest doon sa hindi nila binayaran. Pero kung ang BIR naman ang naningil ng sobra, we will impose the same interest rates. We will follow the IRS style on overpayments. In other words, nangutang ka ng libre, ngayon sasabihin namin, pag nangutang ka, magbayad ka ng interest. That will essentially close the gap. Any philosophical or economic arguments against this. So, VAT exemption for enterprises, and this is upon the instruction of the President, that all those who are essentially 100% exporting will have perpetual VAT exemption and no refund system at all from BIR. Galit siya dito No VAT refund at all. If Filipino or a foreigner invests in the Philippines and 100% is export, no way there should be any kind of VAT refund. So, perpetually, he emphasized the word perpetual VAT exemption for 100% export. So, and now, FIRB to act as a review and monitoring body for IPAs. So may I ask yung ating po mga members.
First, Mr. Chair, I would like to manifest to nakalagay pa rin pangalan ko as co-author dito sa House Bill
Naman.
9794. So I would like to manifest to remove my
Hindi naman tupian.
my name. My name in this in this House Bill
Okay, thank you.
9794. Okay, so ito yung binabanggit niyo, Mr. Chair, no? So parang naisip ko na nakita ko tuloy with this 9794 para bang more create more, diba? So ano na lang po ang babayaran ng mga foreign investors
Hindi man sila papasok.
dito sa atin. Okay? So habang ang mga mamamayang Pilipino ay bayad ng tax, bayad ng mga kung ano-anong mga tax, kami po ay syempre ang tao na talaga, no? Kubang-kuha na tayo sa pagbabayad. And yet, yung pumapasok sa atin dito na foreigner ay libre na. Diba? Perpetual VAT exemption. So, mamaya, tignan natin yung
Kung
isa-isa-
exporter.
Yes. Kung exporter. So, anyway, isa-isahin ko po yung yung mga provision. Okay? So, ang sabi niyo po dito, no, less taxes and more non-tax incentives imposed on corporations and now also resident foreign corporations. So, medyo masakit yan dahil habang nag-exempt tayo, no, dami na natin mga tax holiday, mga incentives sa mga foreign investors or corporations. Ito, dadagdagan na naman natin siya, no? Sale to registered export enterprise, 0% VAT as long as it is directly attributable.
To
Okay?
exports.
To export, to registered project or activity of registered business enterprise, yung tinatawag natin RBE. So siguro tanong natin sa BIR, Mr. Chair. So tignan ko muna kung ano yung na-loss sa atin under the CREATE law, how much supposed to be revenues that we are losing every year since we passed it. So gusto natin
May I direct that
at
question
gusto
to
natin-
the FIRB?
Apo. And then, ano naman din yung malulos natin just in case na ipatupad natin itong 9794.
Wala ng ITH.
Hmm.
Lahat sila magbabay ng 20%.
Hmm.
Ngayon, yung mababawas doon sa income tax na nila is based on performance. If they employ more, 150%, no?
Ayun na nga din yung problema natin, Mr. Chair. Ito mamaya sa mga susunod na tanong ko pa. Hindi na natin pinag-iiba yung malalaking corporation doon sa MSME. Parang ang effect nito, magiging parehas na sila doon sa mga tama ba? Yung impression ko. Kasi yung mga maliliit na negosyo na MSME, parang kapantay na yan ng ating
Hindi naman po.
corporation.
Kasi ang mangyayari niya, pag nasagot kita kagad, yung large taxpayers mataas pa rin. Pag hindi naman po sila nasa SIPP, yung mga negosyo na gusto natin lagyan ng investment, na walang investment, this is an incentive package pa rin. So, the SMSC will still have lower, definitely 20% na income tax.
Yes. So yun nga, Mr. Chair, natagal pa ba yung data natin from the
FIRB
or,
actually.
oo, kung magkano na yung
May I recognize Congresswoman Arlene Rosas? I think my burden is getting harder.
So, yeah.
But anyway, I think in general, ma'am, this is in fact a better regime because lahat ng incentives can only be availed at lower rates if you use you put an R&D 150% no deduction on labor force and 150% for training. So in other words, yung kanila pong, they will now, hindi imbis ng income tax holiday na wala talagang babayaran. Ngayon, magbabayad na sila ng 20% unless, halimbawa, yung kita nila 1 million. Pero gumamit sila ng mas maraming employment. Yung kada labor, babawasan natin ng 50%, additional 50%. So ang pa-labor nila is 100,000. Ang ibabawas sa babayaran nila, 150,000.
Yes, okay.
Kung may training, 20% ba training? 150%, pag train nila yung labor force nila, 200%. Ano ba, pinapunta nila ng Japan o ng Korea, yung laki na lang gastos para matrain yung mga labor force, i-deduct din yun sa kung saan i-charge yung 20%. So this is what you call enhanced deduction, performance-based scheme. So wala na yung ITH, income tax holiday.
So, yun na nga po, Mr. Chair, kaya gusto natin makita yung pakinabang natin, pakinabang ng gobyerno natin as regards doon sa sinasabi nating bagong regime.
Opo.
O yung tinatawag nating enhanced deduction
Deductions.
regime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? So,
Can
so
I-
kung wala pa, so,
wala ka pa, ano?